Welcome to the Coffee Talk Podcast. This is intended for informational purposes only and not to be used as a primary basis for investment decisions. Consult your financial professional before making investment decisions. Shannon Ross is a registered representative and MBA of Lighthouse Financial. Lighthouse Financial offers securities and advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisories Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Shannon is CEO and managing financial partner of Lighthouse Financial. Cambridge and Lighthouse Financial are not affiliated. And now, here's your host, Shannon Ross.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Good morning, Shannon.
We are back home today.
I am so excited. I didn't even wait for you to greet me.
Desk. I know. You're all cozy. I think it's funny. We're back in our original studio. Yep. As you can tell, we missed it. We actually had, I think, a mojo crisis of sorts.
You think? We had a mojo. Our chemistry was gone.
So we
our set was beautiful. Like, we want to make sure. People worked really hard on that set.
They did. And thank you for everyone for their patience on the team.
Yes.
Because we need it.
As we look at Matt and Kelly.
Yes.
Yes, they've put up with us. We are back. I am so happy.
What's also hilarious to me is we are in our comfort clothes,
which
is that for you and this for me.
Yeah. You still look nice and professional. You did go all black.
Black is my comfort color.
I went trucker hat.
Yes.
Yeah. When I walked in, I looked at Matt and I'm like, see, I'm back. I'm back. That whole dress up nonsense
all
thing.
About mojo.
No. Yeah. I did not like that at all.
If we're not having fun, no one's having fun.
No. Well, and to be honest, I just want to have fun.
But you do have paper. So you still are adulting to a certain
degree. I am adulting
degree.
to a certain degree just because I still want to be compliant. Mm-hmm. For Chris so that he is happy with me. So, before we even move on.
Yeah.
Because, I know we have a show. I'm really excited.
We do. We have a couple new things for this show.
I know. Well, you've tipped me off a little bit. But before we do, this is a very big week for me.
I know.
This is a big deal.
In the intro.
Which
is why I'm surprised you're wearing the hat you are.
You have to let me finish.
I'm not talking.
I know, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to tell you something. Okay. So, and this is my favorite hat. Yeah, you're right. This is my favorite hat. But this is college football week. Mm-hmm. Alabama kicks off this Saturday.
Roll Tide.
1:30 at a girl. 1:30 against Miami. Yes. So Shannon knows. And the Vols the Vols kick off today.
That's right.
I sent you a text this morning.
They do.
I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a game against Bowling Green. Mm-hmm. But I would normally be in obnoxious Alabama clothes. But because we're new to our YouTube audience, I didn't want to scare anybody.
And you don't want to pull out the haters.
I don't care about the haters, really. No, I don't care about the haters, but I didn't want people to be like, whoa, wow.
Yeah, why does she look like a red tomato?
I did have an Alabama shirt out that I was going to wear, but I thought, let's save that one.
Sure.
Let's save that.
You have to stagger it.
Yeah. I didn't want to overwhelm
only on
people.
big weekends, too, because you can't use all your Alabama mojo in 1 week.
I know. So I wanted to...
when they actually play teams that are worthy of them to play them...
Miami will be a good game.
Then they'll...
Worthy to play them. I love how you put that, by the way. Mm-hmm. She's a Roll Tide fan. I converted her.
I am kind of. We're both SEC girls. I went to University of Tennessee in the Peyton Manning era. Hence, we used to demolish Alabama,
Back
which
then.
my kids don't believe us that we
Nobody remembers
used to be
that
on
you,
top.
dear.
But now the tides have turned for now. Mm-hmm. But at least
the tide has
support
turned.
SEC. So
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Yes. So yes, Roll Tide. I just had to bring that out. It's a big week in my house.
Do you think your dream job would have been to be a college football commentator or a college football? Well, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Or a college football referee.
We are totally cutting each other off today. Commentator.
Yeah.
I wish I had done that. That would have been so cool.
I think you might have missed your calling a little bit, but maybe this will get you there. You never know. Right. You can do a guest spot someday. Right. One can dream. Hey, we're talking about EQ and self-actualization. Right. Have dreams.
Well, that just
goals.
played itself out. Self-actualization right there. You dream for me, and I appreciate that. You pushed me into dreams and hopes like that. So, yes, anyways, that's all I needed to say before we even kicked off the show.
Well,
it's really exciting. Like, I have all the jitters.
You love fall and you love football more than almost any person on the planet that I've ever met. So
I am crazy.
And I'll take some footage one of these days while April is watching an Alabama game so you can see just the level of activity and excitement that is...
Blackmail. Your daughter got a video.
It's all over her. You don't even sit down.
Your daughter got a video
during the
once.
Game.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and I will say this. So for those of you, follow us on Copy Talk Podcast, right? But what I also would like you to do is, if you are a Roll Tide fan, please comment with Roll Tide or your favorite college football team.
That would be good.
I'm going to throw that out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fall.
I know. I'm excited.
September
all the feels come in September.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, today's show is entitled Let's Make a Deal because we're actually going to do something fun to kick it off.
Okay.
So we've been working on all these life skills that tie into finance, that tie into relationships, that tie in kind of helping us become more aware of maybe some tweaks that we want to make or maybe some things in our life that others know about us but we don't know about ourselves to continue to empower us and to allow us to become all that we're meant to be. So I didn't spring it on you because I knew you'd be mad. So I did give you a little bit of a heads up, at least to study, to get your game on.
I know.
It's Let's Make a Deal because we're going to start off with a game.
I love it.
And I love games. So,
which would not shock anybody since there's
I am going to give you little playing cards.
Okay. Ooh, yay.
So these are your choices.
Okay.
Based on the scenarios I describe, you have to hold up which card I'm talking about. So you might want to shuffle them out so you know what your choices are. There are 6 of them.
Let me do this.
So,
okay. So hold on. Because I don't, you should know me by now. I don't play games unless I win something. So what do I win?
Okay. Well, do I show you what the prize is? Because maybe you won't win and you won't get it, and then you'll be sad.
Was it that crappy of a prize? I'm your best friend. Don't you know what I like?
You have a sweet tooth. And these are highly coveted.
Oh, no.
So I brought you Chick-fil-A chocolate chip cookies is what's on the line today. Just saying.
I mean, I love chocolate chip cookies.
So.
I was trying to do better in my diet and workout.
Well, I was going to buy you a new thing of Country Crock since now all my streams of advertisements this week
so glad you
have
didn't do that.
brought up Country Crock because of our conversation last
I'm really thankful you didn't do that.
week.
Because if you told me the prize was Country Crock, I'd have been
That would be less motivating.
Man, I'm out.
So chocolate chip cookies. Who doesn't love a good chocolate chip cookie? Everyone does.
Well, I think you should take me out for a cocktail.
Well, that will definitely come
Whether
too.
you have one or not is not the question.
I like winning cocktails on bets more than games.
Whatever. Start the game. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so the two categories of this game is self-perception and self-expression. So those are the two kind of categories we've covered so far on the show. So self-perception has 3 skills that are all about what's in between your ears. What's going on in your own thoughts, own feelings, what's going on between your head, that your internal world that people may not see.
Okay.
Self-expression is the category that people do see. So it's how you portray yourself, how you insert yourself into certain situations, how you desert yourself in certain situations.
Desert.
So
Is that a word?
it is now.
I love that. I love it when you make up words.
I do a lot.
Desert. Okay.
So
hold on.
Yes.
I have a question, teacher. I get a little bit of grace on independence because we have not gone over this.
I know. We'll finish that after. But independence, that's a little bit self-explanatory. I feel like it's maybe the easiest one of the bunch.
Okay.
And hello, I'm your best friend. I'm like the most independent person you've ever met.
Hold
so
on.
like
This could be the bonus.
That could be the bonus
If I get
round?
the bonus, then you have to buy me a cocktail.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal. Let's make a deal. That's a deal.
I love it. See?
Okay.
I'm already negotiating here. All right,
okay, and
let's
these
go.
are not that hard. I should have made them harder.
Well, you
but
can
I
make them
wanted you to
harder on the
win.
fly. You wanted me to win the cookies?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. This person, and you have to say high or low. So you have to say the
What?
skill and if that person is high in that skill or low in that skill.
What if they're medium? What if they're in the
Or
middle?
healthy. Well, I don't know if I put any healthy ones. I made more fun of like high or lows.
Okay, so you didn't tell me I had to answer 2 things, but all right.
So,
all right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So this person is constantly on a soapbox and they constantly share who will ever listen about what their viewpoint is on the vax versus non-vax constant question in everyone's family room these days. What skill are they portraying, and are they high or are they low? We need some like game show music.
I know.
Do, 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 do,
That is so funny. Look at you. Okay.
Okay.
Did I get it right? I hate this game.
You know what? That could apply.
Yeah, it could.
That could be.
These are trick questions. Made them easy.
They're
My
a little
foot.
tricky because So I was going for emotional expression, high on emotional expression. But you know what? I will give you a pass there because assertiveness, they're doing because of the soapbox. Maybe that's why. Because when you're high in assertiveness, you're expressing your thoughts and feelings in a destructive way. And maybe if you're on a soapbox, it's destructive because you're.
And I would say high.
So that's I
get
think
a pass on that.
That's a pass.
Okay,
that could absolutely pass. Okay.
All right.
But that might come up again. So another one.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know we were only having one per. Okay.
Well, yeah, this isn't the whole show.
Dang it. Darn. All right.
Okay. Number 2.
Okay. Someone
who thinks that the good old days were in high school. This is my favorite one.
You didn't make these easy. Okay.
Okay. So if someone says the glory days were back in high school, what do they think about their current life? Are they living their best hopes and dreams, or are they living in the past? Nice. Good job.
Yay.
Ding, ding, ding. We need a bell.
I
should have thought forward to bring a bell.
Okay.
All right. You got one. Good.
Yeah. Oh, I need to do high or low. So they're low.
They're low.
Okay.
That's right. Why are they low? Because they are not living their life
they're focused
true
on
to
the past.
They're focused on the past.
Regrets.
Yeah. And how many people do you know from high school are like, the good old days? I don't miss high school.
Not me. I don't miss it at all.
I don't either.
I feel bad that my kid's in high school.
I know.
Yuck.
It's brutal
All
these
right.
days, especially.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another one.
Yep.
High or low, and which skill?
Yep.
Someone who is super generous with others, but puts themselves down in a condescending way. Very good. Very good.
Okay, but read it again because I need to determine high or low.
Someone who is super generous with others, like in compliments and things.
Okay.
But puts themselves down.
Low.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, you can be very high in something like empathy, but very low in self-regard. So that looks like you build others up all day long. You care about their problems. You care about what they're going through, but you neglect yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have low self-regard. You don't have the same worth of yourself that you put on others. Okay. Let's see.
I'm killing it.
Here's the next one. Someone who bites your head off if you ask them how their day went. This is kind of hard, but you only have 4 left, so you have a 25% chance.
No, I have
to pick
3
the
left.
Right
because this one you technically said was already. Remember this one?
Oh, that's true. So you have a 33% chance of picking the right one.
I really don't like to hear my percentages. If you could just withhold. I don't think they do that on Jeopardy. So if you could just.
I'm actually interviewing for the Jeopardy job because it's open again. So this is I'm going to send in this demo after this.
You're so full of crap. Because then you can't do the podcast.
I know.
You're going to leave us all in the dust? Kelly, Matt, me? Thanks a lot.
Someone who bites your head off once you've asked them how their day went.
Self-expression, self-perception.
So close.
Dang it. That's
Okay, I'll tell you why. Okay, so pick the other one you had. So think about it. If you're low in emotional self-expression, what's the buzzword that we used last week a lot? It begins with a T.
That's self-perception and that's self-expression. That's self-expression.
I know.
That's self-perception.
But if you're, so it's emotional self-awareness is what we're going for. Low in emotional self-awareness because you're triggered. Remember triggers? Yes. You're triggered. So if someone asks you how your day, I'm not like asking you a loaded question. I'm just wondering how your day was, and maybe it was a bad day, but you're not aware of how bad it was and how mad you are about it, how explosive you are about it. So you just bite people's heads off.
Listen,
I asked you to study. Come on.
I studied. I studied a lot. And I'm just saying that these questions, A, are not as easy as you said they were going to be, number one. That's okay. I don't need an easy win.
Okay. Ready?
But I still think I could get a pass on this one, too. Because self-expression more than self-perception.
Assertiveness could be a go-to for a lot of these. See? It could.
I could just keep picking this one.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, next.
So,
but that one was technically this.
Okay. This person is a pushover and caves under pressure or conflict.
This is so... It could be either of these. Okay, hold on. Read it again. I'm going back to my notes.
This person is a pushover and caves under pressure or conflict. So they don't like conflict. They don't like pressure. That you might say they're wishy-washy. Very good. It's your go-to
This
card.
is like my third time I've picked this one up. Okay.
And you got it.
Yay.
Okay, you ready? Well,
you left the bonus round.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'll bring in one more. So you just, bring back one more. So you, at least bring back emotional self-awareness since you missed that one. We'll give you another opportunity to redeem yourself. Okay. This person.
I almost said an expletive. I'm glad I didn't.
This person's campaign slogan is "There is no I in team."
There's no I in team. Frick.
This is fun. We might do this every week.
And everybody's going to be like, it's really not that fun to watch every week. But
very good. Now, would they be high or low in independence if their slogan was "There's no I in team"?
They're going to be low.
That's right. See? High five. You did it. Good job. Here are your cookies.
Thanks,
you should
Mom.
eat one while we're on the show.
Thanks.
So
no, because then I may have to, I don't want to share.
have like
chocolate on my teeth. Kelly and Matt are going to be like,
well, actually, so you did actually very well. Some of those were tough.
Yeah, they were way tougher than you prepared me for, but that's okay. I don't like it to be easy.
Well, you know, I have to make it worth the time.
Worth the cookies?
Yeah, worth the cookies.
Well, and I won the bonus round.
That's right, you did. I feel like that was a little difficult because we have not covered independence, where we're going to next.
That's why I texted you this morning and said, is it going to be part of the game?
And I said, heck yeah, because so independence, it's the last one in self-expression.
Okay.
And so obviously a lot of us understand independence because we are either, we live with someone who's very independent, we have a child who's very independent, or we ourselves are very independent. So let's recap. So independence is the ability to self-direct and be free from emotional dependency on others. Mm-hmm. So these folks typically, if in a healthy environment, they can make decision making on their own. They can plan well. They can do daily tasks autonomously. Mm-hmm. So they don't need a constant, checker or a micromanager, or they're so in a healthy environment.
Okay.
Now, too high. You might know someone who's been too high in their independence at times.
No, I don't know.
Somebody
comes to mind.
They don't trust many people. They're not very coachable. They're fairly stubborn, and they don't ask for help.
And they can sometimes end up burned out because they don't ask for help.
Nope, totally. I don't know what you're talking about, but yes. So that's independence. Okay. And too low. So too low, they are too emotional dependent on someone. Like they can't make a decision before they talk to someone else first, right?
Okay.
I even know adults that, I need to call my mom. Like they're still calling their mom in their 20s and 30s for her, which is sweet on one sense, but you have to be somewhat independent from your parents at some point to make your own educated decisions.
So somebody's low is seeking like counsel for like what they should have for dinner that night.
Yeah.
Like they can't make a decision to say.
Well, and also if you're low in independence, you might not trust yourself either.
That makes sense.
Because you don't have confidence.
That's
you
why
don't
you're
have
asking everybody for help.
You don't have confidence in your own abilities to choose good solutions. So, but if you're well-adjusted, you're comfortable with making decisions on your own. You sometimes welcome or request guidance or reassurance. So it's not like, if you're well-adjusted, you still ask for people to speak into it. But ultimately, you're making the decision.
Okay.
Which I think is good. It's that right balance. Like when we're collaborating with others, when we're having wise counsel, because obviously having
wisdom in that.
Is when you're well-adjusted in your independence. Because it's good to consult others for advice.
I'm trying to remember where I was on this one.
And you accept responsibility for your decisions, knowing that at times people will disagree with you. So you have like a backbone to like stand behind your decisions, not in a stubborn, you can you're not humble, you can't admit guilt kind of way, but more of a you stand by your convictions.
Okay.
That's a healthy way to
so you're not easily swayed.
Exercise. Correct.
But if you're too high, you're not like, some of us know and love you, because I can't remember what I got on this. I definitely am not too high on this.
Yeah, bring your results.
they're in my purse. I wasn't allowed to have a cheat sheet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they're in my purse. I don't think Kelly wants me to get under the table and get it out of my purse.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, and if you're too high, you're not a team player. And again, I know in my sales career, I saw a lot of people, and I was like this for a really long time. I'd rather be an individual contributor because, again, it's a known environment.
Yeah.
It's a known, I know what I'm capable of. But as you grow and expand, there's power in needing others.
Yeah.
And it helps us to grow. But we also don't want to be too low where we need group mentality. We're just going with what everyone else says.
Well, so somebody who's super low in this, low self-confidence has to be synonymous with that, right? If you're super low. So you're terrified to make a decision. You're almost paralyzed to make any decision because not only do you not trust yourself, but I think maybe is there something about this where you don't want to be held accountable for it either? Because you lack so much conviction on any decision you make.
Yeah.
So you also don't want to be held accountable for that decision?
Right. Well, and the countering, so we haven't gotten to the skill yet, but when independence is flexing, how you improve it is you get better at problem solving. So those are kind of, again, as we're working a sound board, how to continue to build the healthy amount of independence is to also look at your problem solving. How do I solve problems? Am I just a problem finder?
Right.
And not do anything about it? Or am I also getting stronger in my problem solving? Mm-hmm. Not to do it by yourself, but to have a role, to have a confidence, to have conviction, to have those things.
Do people high on the independent scale get super annoyed with people low on the independent scale?
They're probably not really friends with them. I'm just kidding.
Wow, we're like a miracle.
I know. We're divinely appointed.
Yes.
Well, and again, I think what happens, and I think a lot of marriages are like that too, is you balance each other out.
Well, I actually don't think I was that low. I know
I don't
wasn't
think you're that
high,
low in it either.
but I certainly wasn't super low on it.
Yeah.
I think I was towards the middle.
I bet you were.
Maybe a smidgen to the left of that.
I bet you were. I think you're very well adjusted because again, in those ones that and again we've said this from last show. My probably skill set category that I struggle with most is the self-expression one, and independence would probably be the top of that. And I grew up as an only child too, which how can you not be independent? I had to grow up as an independent
not only
kid.
child, but
yeah. Well, so I had to unlearn some of those coping mechanisms, and it took me a while. And I'm still, working on it.
Probably had to adjust because if I didn't, you wouldn't be my friend anymore. I mean, you basically just said that on the show. So I think over the years I've adjusted and gotten higher in independence so that you didn't bail on me. Look at me. That's my what would that be an EQ? The fact that I would even think that way. What would that be?
Is this my own
emotional awareness?
Emotional self-awareness, making adjustments. Yeah. Oh, and it actually is a great precursor to the next one that we're going to start today. So we're done with self-expression. So independence was the last one.
Check.
So we're check. So we're going to the next one of interpersonal skills. So interpersonal relationships is the first one.
I did a segue and didn't even know it.
You didn't even know it.
I'm telling you, it's the hat.
I know.
I'm nailing it in this room.
Your
with
mojo
this hat.
is back.
Mojo's
Thank
back.
God.
Yeah.
But before we move on, so independence finance, because I also want to tie it into finance, because this is a finance show at the heartbeat of it, is if you're high on independence, too high, you could actually negate the advice of an expert. Thinking you know better.
You know everything.
Which you really don't. You have to have a level of humility when it comes to finances. I have to have, and I'm not, I don't think there's ever an expert in financial planning. Huh? There are more educated.
Okay.
There are more, you have that 10,000 hour plus of training. That makes you expert in a definition. But no one has a crystal ball. No one can predict the future. And so that's why, I really like advisors who have a certain level of humility because they work in a landscape that they don't control. Sure. So they can only give you so much information to make facts. So it really, you have to balance independence when it comes to your finances. You don't want to be paralyzed and make no decision no matter how many facts are put in front of you, right? Because then you do nothing, which is not good.
I mean,
opportunities.
There are opportunities that we chat about weekly, and I still haven't done it.
Well, you will. Maybe when we get to...
I feel like somebody needs to just download that thing on my phone and do it for me. I'm just saying. That's all. Can you you do that?
Well, there are more investments than this one you're stuck on. So
that's true.
But okay, so as we move on to interpersonal,
okay.
So the first skill is interpersonal relationships, and this skill, and I think you knocked this one out of the park, is developing and maintaining mutually satisfying relationships that are characterized by trust and compassion.
Oh, yeah, that's me right on paper.
It is. It is. Everyone thinks they're your best friend. You might not be everyone else's best friend, but everyone I know who knows you thinks you're their best friend.
It's not true.
It's true. I think in this interpersonal category, we're going to see that I think your higher scores were in this area, because I do think you are really good at building trusting and compassionate relationships. No one's perfect on everything, I know. But, I mean, we built trust fairly quickly.
That's true, but
that was like a miracle.
Well,
so
sure. Well, we kind of had to.
Yeah. Well, I think we had compassion for each other off the bat.
Right.
Just for some similarities of walks of life.
Yeah.
But it led to quick trust.
Mm-hmm.
And but we've been friends for almost a decade now. We've had a couple come to Jesus meetings of our friendship. We have. Of like, hey, are we going to do this? Like, are we going to still be friends? Like, are we still moving forward?
Just so everyone knows, this is the first I've heard of this. I had no idea. I was on the chopping block. This is not an act. I have had no idea.
That's hilarious. You were on the chopping block.
This is on YouTube World. This is awesome. Seriously? I don't recall. Did you have these talks by yourself? Is this one of those moments, where like you're talking to yourself and you're really mad at this person and it's like they're right there, but they're really not. And you, like, I have no idea. We're going to have to talk about that later.
Will. We'll talk about that
or
after
maybe we
the
just
show.
shouldn't.
That'll be on our after show.
Blooper reel. Shannon and April get into a fight right here in the Cumulus studio. Okay, I wasn't aware of this, but...
Okay. When I remind you of when it was, you'll be like, oh, well, I mean, it wasn't like serious, but we've had a couple. But anywho, let's move on.
I can think of one. Oh, see, now I'm stuck. Where am I at now on my EQ on something?
So interpersonal relationships is where we are. So here's how you know if you're well-adjusted.
Okay.
You have built up or are currently building up a useful network of colleagues and professionals.
Okay.
So, I mean... And it's going to look a little different for some people. I'm never going to have, 50 colleagues or professional friendships. I have acquaintances. My inner circle tends to be smaller, on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But
well, that comes
building
with
them
age
up
too.
Yeah, I think it
the
does.
older we
maybe
get,
a little bit,
our
probably
circle gets smaller.
Probably.
Yeah.
Your relationships are authentic, and you know people on a personal level. I think we both.
Oh, for sure.
Invest people that way.
Well, I make people like me. I feel like I push my way.
You're
going to be
do.
friends with me, whether you like it.
Well, that's why, you'll come out of a dinner or whatever. You'll be like, I don't think that person liked me. I'm like, whatever.
Well, sometimes you just know which is fine. I don't care. Not everybody has to like me. But if I like you, you're going to be my friend.
Totally. And here's another well-adjusted sign. You feel at ease with people, and look forward to engaging in social interactions. No one thinks that you are an introvert. You portray yourself as a huge extrovert. Like you come across as like the life of the party.
That is not true.
That is so true.
No, when I'm
going to poll 10 people that we both know.
Well, one of them can't be Justin because I already know.
Well, he already thinks you're in it. Yeah,
I know, but I'm not.
Okay.
If I go to a party, I want to be like I want to like just be with the wall, and maybe one other person. You.
We do get in trouble for that a lot.
I know
because we totally ditch my husband, and we're like in a corner. He's like, "Where did my wife go?"
Yeah. So we'll be with each other.
Yeah, but your social interactions, I feel again like you draw people out. You draw people. You're very likable. And so that's how you know out there.
Except for twice in our friendship.
Where you are.
I'm not letting this go.
Where you are in your relationships. Yeah. So let's talk then about highs and lows.
Okay.
So if you're too high in your interpersonal relationships, you might be the social butterfly. Like you allow socializing to like overtake everything else. So you're the worker at the water cooler who stays at the water cooler just to gab and chit chat and never get any work done. Or those people you work with who are like that when they come across and you don't have a half an hour to talk to them, you're kind of like, you look very focused. I have faked phone calls before. I'm just admitting.
With me?
No.
I'm making this very much about me. I know. I'm sorry.
I know, because you're stuck. You're going to totally
stuck.
come after me about what's the second conversation that we almost broke up.
We can do that over the drink that you owe me on the bonus round. Okay, keep going.
So if you're too high, you're the social butterfly.
What if you're too low? If
you're too low, you're a little socially awkward.
Okay.
You know, like you have a hard time kind of relating to people.
Okay.
And or you only focus on goals and work. Like you don't even allow time for interpersonal relationships.
Oh.
You kind of cut them out a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like you don't have time for that.
Yeah, you don't have time for that.
But could that be I'm not going to use the right term. When this flexes, non-flexes, what does that mean?
I made up that word, so you can make it fit wherever you can.
Isn't flex like what are those words out there that the youngsters use?
Maybe.
Flex is right? Okay.
Yes. Our young producers are telling us yes.
Yeah, they're something is a flex. Okay, so if you're low in self-regard.
Yeah.
And you're low in interpersonal relationships. Those two, like maybe if you're low in self-regard, you could also be low in interpersonal relationships. Is there any correlation there?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not confident in your people skills, you're going to be more quiet and reserved and not engaged. Okay. For sure.
I like when these two are
and actually what connects them also is your interpersonal relationships connected with your self-actualization.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's actually, and how they link it in the assessment is they link it more so of like, you have to realize that people play an integral role in helping you reach your goals that you might not be able to achieve on your own. So they're actually addressing it if you're too low in your interpersonal relationships. You think you have to just work and just get it all done yourself. You don't realize it's opening yourself to others that can help you accomplish your dreams and goals, which is totally true.
So if you're high on the independent scale.
And you would be high in the independent scale. See, you're learning the knobs. Man, I'm going to have to make next week's quiz like so much harder.
Oh, there's already a quiz for next week?
There has to be more.
As there's prizes involved. We can do this all the time.
That's fun. Like it. It makes a little competition.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to make a quiz for me. That's a little scary.
Well, based on what I just learned from you, I could give you a pop quiz right now, but we'll leave that alone.
So we will finish.
What are we doing next week?
Interpersonal category next week. So interpersonal relationships, what we accomplished today, and the next two that we're going to work through is empathy and social responsibility, which leads to social justice and all those fun topics.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So
we're doing
before we leave
both next week.
Hopefully. It depends. It depends how hard your quiz is or my quiz is. We'll see. We'll have to flip a coin.
Let's fly by the seat of our pants over here.
Right. But before I know people want to engage with us. They, our kind of tagline is let's talk because of Copy Talk.
Right.
And so how can people talk with us?
Yeah. So for those of you watching and listening, we would love for you to engage with us more. You can follow us on Instagram, Copy Talk Podcast. We have website, copytalkpodcast.com. We have
YouTube.
Facebook. We have YouTube. I'm getting there. You have to let me try
Why are you
this.
Friends with me.
Well, once again, but
maybe you're going to cut me out.
I'll leave that alone. Yeah. And now the YouTube. Oh, so what is it? It's a bell. Do they ring a bell?
Well, if you type in Copy Talk Podcast Investment, that's how you're going to find our channel right now. Do you
even have to type in investment? Because I think you do. The other day, and I found us. Whatever.
It's getting more popular every week, so who knows? Right. Eventually, it'll just be Copy Talk Podcast.
Yeah.
But ring the bell, I guess, and subscribe.
Ring the bell,
and it rewards
hit the heart, hit the like,
the bell. We need a bell in here.
Hit the little laughing emoji, whatever. Right. But leave us a message. Throwback Thursday, college football week. If you're a college football fan, Roll Tide. If you drop a Roll Tide, you're going to be my new best friend. I like to have tons of best friends.
You might need a new best friend.
After today's show, I may not be here next week.
We'll continue the saga next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
This is intended for informational purposes only and not to be used as a primary basis for investment decisions. Consult your financial professional before making investment decisions. Shannon Ross is a registered representative and MBA of Lighthouse Financial. Lighthouse Financial offers securities and advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisories Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Shannon is CEO and managing financial partner of Lighthouse Financial. Cambridge and Lighthouse Financial are not affiliated.